So this is one of those like don't even ask kind of things. This is plywood. I had to get this to fit in this space exactly, and of course there's no square corners whatsoever. It started with a template that I made using note cards to get the exact shape. That was then traced around the plywood. Then I had to use this Dremel with like a little saw blade to cut around the edges, and of course it was still really rough. So then I had to sand the crap out of it with this Ryobi sander. The purpose is because we need to put into this window this exhaust fan. Okay, I cut it here. Up here I broke the glass out, but there's still this like one stupid nail holding it in. Damn it. Okay, pulled it out. Moment of truth. There we go. Goodbye window. Okay. So the exhaust fan's going there, and I'll clean this up, and it's going to take a while, but just wanted to just do this quick one here. Okay, so I kind of marked out where the window frames are on here and drilled some pilot holes for where I'm going to screw this into the frame. Our exhaust fan outlet is 1 foot square, and I have a roughly 1 foot square template here. The goal is going to be to find level here and figure out how best to center that template so I know where to cut my hole. Okay, that square there is my outlet. That top line there is level. As you can see, the window frame line is not level because nothing in this house is level or plumb. So even though that square looks crooked, it is actually going to be the most level and plumb thing in the house once I cut the hole. Well, the rim is 1.5 inches, and there's actually not enough room down here for where I put my square. Okay, so here's how it's looking with the 1.5 inch flange. Purple line shows where the window frame is at. So it's over there, it's down there. We don't have a window frame on the left. The shaded area shows what the flange will cover, and as you can see at the bottom, it's right butt up against the bottom, according to my calculations. We got a little room on the side for the flange. We got some room on the top. So it's just gonna barely fit in the space. Now the flange overlaps a couple of my mounting screws on the top and the bottom, so I'm gonna have to countersink those. So yeah, between the bottom of the flange being butt up against the bottom of the windowsill and kind of the top of the intake being dangerously close to the top of the window frame, it's gonna fit. But it's just barely gonna fit. Okay, I finally got the damn hole cut in this thing. Now I'm gonna sand around the edges of the inside here, and we'll see if we can join these two together. Okay, so it does fit around the exhaust, and the flanges of the fan do not come out around the edges of the wood. This is exactly what we want. Okay, I'm going to use this style of joiner. A little test on the scrap. That one went in all crooked. This one I drilled some tiny pilot holes, and it went in good and straight. Got one in. There's my little tiny pilot holes for the next one. Okay, we got the whole thing back and front fastened together. Looking okay. It's going to hold together pretty good. And it still fits exactly inside our window frame. So, okay. Now I've just got to paint it and treat it a little bit, and then we can throw the fan in there. First look at what it's going to look like once it's in there. And I got to mark the holes where we're going to mount it. Alright, so these ovals are where the mounting screws have to go for the fan itself. Okay. Whoa, okay. All right, we got the threaded inserts all pounded in. We're leaving off the top two. Those have to be wood screws. We're going to go with hex nuts to hold the fan on, and that is my nut driver. On the back sides, I'm going to try to wood putty over the holes. All right, this is my stopping point for tonight. Got to let the paint dry. The reason that we're using the hex bolt mount for the fan is so that it can be taken off and serviced, and the rest of the frame will stay up and be secure. Okay, so we're back at it today. The first thing I'm going to take care of is this gap on the side here. I cut a piece that will fit decently in there, and that's going to be screwed into place. Put a little bead of caulk down here. All this will be painted. Okay, it's all painted. Looks pretty good. We're going to have window glazing in here, filling in these cracks around the sides. The back of the frame has like a waterproof stain that I'm waiting to dry, and then I might go over it with like a boat deck sealant. Okay, I decided to skip the boat deck sealant. I just put the frame back in. Screwed into the window frame like at 9 spots, like up there, here, there in the middle, those 2, those 3, and then that one there. A lot of them will be hiding behind the flange. I also ran a bead of caulk between my fan frame and the existing panel. I did touch up the green paint, and now it's time to throw the fan in there for real. Before I even put the bolts in, I'm suspending it with a suspension wire that goes up, there you go, up to the ceiling. The motor is where all the weight is, and it is kind of, standing off. I want to take the stress off these threaded inserts because they're only pounded into the wood. So the top, though, is going to be... the top 2 wood screws are going to be holding a lot of the weight. I'm just going to tighten these bolts down very lightly. The exhaust fan and the counterweight pulley contraption. I love it. Side by side. Love it. Calling this done. I absolutely love how the fan is completely flush with the wall. This big clunky thing is not in the way. Here in the corner by the sink. This whole corner used to be dark and useless. Now it's got light, sink, and a damn exhaust fan. Something about the exhaust fan makes this truly a shop. Something about the drone. That's medium. That's high. It's not even vibrating that much. I've been thinking about this project since last November. It's nice to finally see it done. First thing in the spring.